Good morning, everybody. It's LSP. It's currently the 16th of May, 2022. So let's go over the markets for the start of the week. As you can see, we've started a new weekly candle. I'm going to try and get a feel for what to expect this week, and then hopefully, if we see some sort of confirmation, whether it's up or down, we can have a little bit more confidence in which direction Bitcoin is effectively going to go. I want to talk briefly though about some things that we read online, and this won't be very long because it's going to tie into the actual analysis that we're going to be doing today. But we read a lot of stuff, Bitcoin's going up, Bitcoin's being accumulated, this is the bottom, whatever, right? And I'm not here to say that my opinion is any better than anybody else's opinion, right? Everybody has an opinion. Somebody's going to be right, okay? There's enough of us out there that are documenting, analyzing Bitcoin, that at some point somebody's going to be right, But for me, the way that I've always liked to look at the markets, and at least, especially in the last sort of 15 years or so, is to focus on just seeing something that makes sense, okay? I read a lot of stuff, and obviously I know that people are saying Bitcoin's being accumulated by whales, okay? That's fantastic, but it doesn't reflect in the chart and it doesn't help anybody, right? We can say, well, it's being accumulated by whales, so it may be a delayed reaction, okay? That's fine. That still doesn't help anybody because we need to know right now, what's Bitcoin doing? And is it likely to continue going lower, or is it likely to start to run to the upside? Because we can't just grab it at any old point or just base our investment decisions on the fact that it's stabilized a little bit down here. And if we go down to the daily chart, we can see a little bit of stabilization. Is that enough to give you confidence, right, to go piling into the cryptocurrency market, especially with what's going on with Luna, UST, some of the other craziness that's happening in the markets as well, and just the general overall downturn, in the general market as a whole? This absolutely doesn't give me confidence, right? So again, when we read the things that we read, it doesn't mean don't read them. I'm not here to tell anybody what to do. Obviously, I read them. I read this information. I like to watch lots of videos. I like to get a feel for what people are thinking and saying. But in the end, when we look at the charts, we have to do neutral, objective analysis and try to figure out what is price telling us. Right now, when we look at Bitcoin, we can see we had a move off this, this recent run lower. We've pulled back. Okay, we start to stair step the areas of liquidity where price is picking up. We've just done one recent pickup, had a little bit of a run, takes out this high, eats into the liquidity here. There's still some left. So this second pullback right now, okay, should be pulling into this here. If this doesn't hold, we're going to go below this low. We're going to eat into the rest of this, and then one of a couple of things starts to pan out. It drags it out a little bit longer as it starts to continue going sideways and then bleed lower, or it starts to accelerate to the downside, and we go towards those lower levels, 25,000 and sort of sub 20,000, right? So again, having whales piling into Bitcoin, great. Seeing some positive news, with maybe Fidelity adding Bitcoin to their pension plans and blah, blah, blah. Great. All of this stuff is fantastic, right? But it still doesn't change the fact that what's happening right now in the market right now on Bitcoin is exactly what I've just said. Price isn't doing much. We're seeing a few pickups of liquidity, small amounts of accumulation in terms of the overall picture. And then, what do we see going forward? Is that going to sort of spill over into the general market and start to drive towards 32, 33, 34,000 so we can start to get a feel for whether or not this is going to be a nice run, going forward or not? For me, it's always best to wait for confirmation, because the confirmation itself doesn't have to be price has to go to 60,000 to confirm that Bitcoin's going higher. We'll see it way before then, way before then. You guys have seen me do this many, many times. Patience, calm, relaxed. We're looking for an opportunity to have confidence in the analysis that we're doing and to have confidence in the engagement with the cryptocurrency market. So we're keeping ourselves safe and we're not throwing unnecessary money into the market, and then having to wait months and months and months for the market to recover. So let's go over to Binance. And again, not dissimilar to Bitcoin, a little bit more extended, nice little run. I still feel at the moment it is possible that we see a run higher, on Bitcoin, Binance, Ethereum, and so on. It is stabilizing in this area, which is great. We've had that first initial pullback on the hourly. The reason I'm using the hourly is because it shows the imbalances a little bit easier to kind of work out, where these accumulation spots are. And right now, we've had one here. It is fractal in nature on the way up. Obviously, I don't like to do that on the hourly chart because I don't want to put too much confidence in what the hourly is saying. The overall, sort of general idea with Bitcoin, Binance, Ethereum, some of these big players, is they are stabilizing to slightly moving lower. And we're kind of bouncing around between these very sort of tight ranges. And then ultimately, I don't even think we're waiting for an injection of volatility. I think it's just a question of the market, going through this kind of cyclical phase. And then eventually it will start to run one way or the other. Personally, as I've said before, I would like to see, and not many people want this, but I do, because I know what it does to price. I just want Bitcoin to just explode to the downside, hit 20,000, go sub 20,000, capitulate completely, and then reverse and then start to grind to the upside, because then I will have absolute confidence. If I see it the way I'm thinking in my head, that Bitcoin's pretty much found alone, we can start to grind upwards. Otherwise, we're just going sideways. It grinds, it slowly bleeds. It's more of a really slow kill, and it's just so annoying. So that's kind of the general market update. At the moment, not a great deal has changed over the weekend. We did see a little bit of pickup. Not too excited about anything going into the remainder of this week. I think the first two to 3 days, Monday through Wednesday, we may get a little bit more of this potential slow bleeding to the downside. Outside of that, what we would like to see is some, confirmation that price is going to these upper levels, 32, 3, 4, thousand example. So 32, 33, and 34,000. So we get a little bit of a bounce or a little bit of a rally. And even if the rally itself is just, again, another rally within this entire move to the downside, then it starts to go for that last leg down into 20,000. That's fine. But the first initial run gets people engaged back in the markets again. So it kind of lifts sentiment. So we'll see how it all pans out. Just a quick sort of glance over at Ethereum. Ethereum's not doing much better than the rest. I think the key level is still 1400 on Ethereum. And if Bitcoin goes, obviously we know we're going to end up down there. So just be mindful of all of these things. Be safe. Be careful. Don't engage when you don't need to. Pointless going over Luna. It's pretty much dead now at this point. I really don't feel that Luna, or Terra are ever going to basically get rid of the trillions and trillions and trillions in supply, i.e. burn them. I don't think that's going to happen at all. I think it's just going to be the same old crap that we always get with these types of things. A very small, group profit, the majority get absolutely decimated, and everybody just kind of resets and moves on like it was nothing. It's a shame. It's a shame it happens that way. I myself in this space are trying to change that by doing a few things here and there, and I'm hoping through the very small effort that I make, that is indeed the case. But I think ultimately the majority, of those who are responsible for creating projects, ideas, bringing, new technology, and all that good stuff in the cryptocurrency market need to start to be held accountable for the things that they're doing. Because ultimately, this isn't a rug pull. This is a complete collapse of something that never should have collapsed in the first place, right? So with all of that said, don't want to finish it on a crappy note. So I'm going to go back to Bitcoin. I am liking the way that it's stabilizing down here. But again, be cautious, be mindful. And I will catch up with you guys later in the afternoon update. And I look forward to speaking to you then. Ciao, guys.